Kimberly if you're new to me, and today's practice is all about the lower body. We'll get into the feet, the 4 quadrants of the legs. We'll work up into the bowl of the pelvis, the front of the pelvis, the hips, the sacrum, and we'll get a little bit into the low back as well. I'm going to recommend having a couple of blocks or pillows. If you have a bolster or a big fluffy pillow, that will be really handy, and something comfortable to sit on. And we're gonna start lying on your back. So I'll join you there. Do have your blocks or your pillows near the sides of your mat. Make sure there's nothing behind your mat if you want to stretch your arms back. So take your time, make your way all the way back. And once you do, it might feel really, really yummy to take a full body stretch, like it's first thing in the morning. You might yawn, you might wiggle. And when you're ready, bend your elbows, slide your arms down alongside the body. And one knee at a time, bend your knee so your feet are flat on the floor. And if this feels good, you're welcome to stay right here. Otherwise, we'll bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. And you might find that support, those blocks or pillows, and snuggle them underneath your thighs so it really feels cozy. We're not working or holding here. We're really being held. And take this time to be absolutely comfy. We'll rest one hand on your low belly and one hand at your heart. And taking this time to really soften back and bring all of your attention to the rising and falling of your breath. And as we bake here a few moments together, I'm going to read a quote by Marianne Williamson. She says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of the universe. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of the universe that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." Let's slide the bottom hand up to stack at your top hand. And from your heart, calling to mind your heartfelt intention, dedication, or prayer for your practice, your day, or out into the world. And once that intention is clear, bringing your hands to your outermost knees and very slowly lift the knees up, plant your feet down. You might widen those blocks out to the side so they're not in your way. And let's hug the right knee in, give the knee a good hug, a good squeeze. And then exhale, set that right foot down. We'll exhale, hug that left knee in, give that knee a good hug, a good squeeze. And then set that left foot down. And let's draw both knees in if that's comfortable. You're always welcome to repeat that. With both knees hugging in, they might be parallel. If it feels better to widen them a little bit, be my guest. We'll rest the hands on the kneecaps. The fingers will face the toes. As you inhale, allow the knees to move forward, arms to lengthen. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, draw your knees in or wide. As you inhale, knees move forward, arms lengthen. And exhale, hug your knees in. Continuing at the rhythm of your breath. We call this pose Apanasana. Apana is that downward flow of energy in the body. So to me, this is really a pose of letting go, of release. Pressing a bit into the digestive organs here. And you might stay with this action, or let's inhale, knees forward, bring the knees out, apart and back in, finding nice circles with the knees. And you might start by keeping the big toes together. Sometimes a point of stability feels really, really yummy. And you're welcome to separate the big toes, see if it feels better, worse, the same. I'm going to keep my big toes glued together. And then reversing those circles. Good. And as the knees hug in, we'll take a little pause here. Let's keep the right knee hugging in. Set your left foot flat on the floor. Right knee hugging in, left foot flat on the floor. Interlace your fingers to the back of that right thigh. And as you inhale, press that thigh forward till the kneecap is right over your hip. You might separate your fingertips a little bit. Flex that foot and ankle. And begin to reach that right foot up towards the ceiling a little bit or a lot of it. But do keep the knee a little bit or a lot of it soft here as we begin to wake up the back of the leg. Let's take an inhale, flex that foot. As you exhale, slowly point the toes. Again, inhale, flex the foot. And exhale, point. One more time, inhale, flex. And exhale, point. Let's add on a little bit. So inhale, flex the foot. As you exhale, hug the knee in towards the chest. As you inhale, reach the leg up, maybe a little bit back, maybe. Exhale, point your toes. We'll repeat, inhale, flex that foot. As you exhale, hug it in. On an inhale, reach it up or back. And exhale, point the toes. Good. This time, inhale, flex the foot. As you exhale, hug it in. And we'll set that right foot all the way down to the earth. We'll take a full breath here, nice inhale. And a nice exhale. Let's take an inhale together. And exhale, draw your left knee in. Draw your left knee in. Interlace the fingers to the back of that thigh. And as you inhale, press that thigh forward, knee right over your hip. Slide your hands down a little more to the belly of the muscle. Maybe you widen your fingers. Press the back of your thigh into your hands. Hands are pressing back. And we'll flex that left foot and ankle and reach that foot up a little bit or a lot of bit, keeping the knee a bit soft here. Your left low back is soft. And let's inhale together. And as you exhale, slowly point your foot. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Let's add on. Inhale, flex the foot. Exhale, hug the knee in. Feel free to widen it a little bit. As you inhale, reach it up or back. And exhale, point the toes. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, flex. Exhale, bend. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, point. This time, inhale, flex the foot. As you exhale, rebend. And we'll lower that foot all the way to the floor. We'll take a breath, a nice inhale. Nice exhale. We'll take an inhale together. And this time, exhale, hug that right knee back in. This time you might catch at the shin or below the knee. Flex that right foot and ankle. Let's slide that left hand down towards that foot or ankle and use that hand as a guide to cross it just off the edge of your left thigh. Now, I like keeping that left foot nice and flexed here. You might stay right here with the foot anchored to the earth, or let's take an inhale together. And as you exhale, navel to spine, draw your left thigh in, reaching between the thighs with your right hand and around the thigh with your left hand. The lower leg might be relaxed, or you're welcome to flex the foot to fire it up a little bit. You choose. The left kneecap in line with your left mid-collarbone. Left kneecap in line with your left mid-collarbone. So you're not leaning to one side of your sacrum, that triangular plate at the base of your spine. The sacrum is nice and neutral here. The entire bowl of the pelvis, nice and neutral. And creating balance here. Balance in the organs of digestion, elimination, reproduction, and creating ease here. Flow. One more breath. On an exhale, we'll set that left foot back down to the earth. Unwind that right leg, set it down. And let's take a nice inhale here. And exhale, left knee in. Give that left shin a good hug, a good squeeze. Flex that right foot and ankle. And we'll slide the right hand down towards that left, I think I said right, but towards that left foot and ankle. And cross that foot just off the edge of the thigh. So I like that foot nice and flexed here. You might stay right here with the foot on the earth or maybe on a block. Or take a nice inhale. As you exhale, navel to spine, draw that right thigh bone in, reaching between the thighs with your left hand and around that thigh with your right hand. You're welcome to flex that right foot or even hold on to the shin if that feels yummy to you today. And as we breathe here, nice long exhales. That right kneecap in line with your right mid-collarbone. Good. Jaws soft. One more breath. On an exhale, we'll set that right foot back down to the earth. Unwind your left leg, set your left foot down, feet about hip bone distance. And feel how your feet really root into the earth. Press your feet down. As you inhale, lift your buttocks just about an inch. And then we'll reset the buttocks back down. Widen your feet as wide as your sticky mat is wide. You might even widen your arms out a little bit, or I love the idea of goal posting the arms. So bending your elbows either in line with your shoulders or lower. You can play with that a bit. Upper body nice and relaxed here. Let's take an inhale. Exhale both knees to the right. We'll windshield wiper back and forth. As you inhale, come back up to center. And exhale, knees to the left. Inhale, center. Let's add the head and neck to the mix. So exhale, knees right, head rolls to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees left, head right, nice and slow, allowing the earth to hold you. Inhaling to center. One more time, each side, nice and easy. In the bowl of the pelvis, we're always looking for fluidity here. It's our water center, our womb of creativity, of all things that bring us joy and pleasure. The next time the knees relax to the right, let's stay and breathe. Any pulling on your low back, move in and out of the shape. And the head might be center, you get to choose. Now if you'd like a little more sensation, flex that right foot and ankle, that bottom foot and ankle. And option to stack it on top of your left thigh. Now it acts as a little bit of a weight, so if it feels too much, please don't do that. Allow your left ribs to melt back, and maybe you stretch that left arm back towards the wall behind you. Stretch that left arm back. Maybe you stretch that right arm back. And then bending your elbows, catch hold of opposite elbow joints here, and lengthen your elbow joints back, and breathe. Nice long exhales. One more full breath here. If that foot is on top, very mindfully uncross it. You might unwind the arms to goalposts and allow an inhale to lift your knees up. Keep the feet wide, but once again, press down into the earth, lift your buttocks about an inch, and we'll reset it down. Let's take an inhale together, and exhale other side. So knees over to the left. Once again, feel free to flow back and forth. Maybe flexing that left foot and ankle and stacking that foot on top of that right thigh, just an option. Keep wrapping those right ribs, right kidney, right adrenal back towards your sticky mat. Maybe that right arm reaches back. Maybe that left arm reaches back. Bending your elbows, catching hold of opposite elbow joints, and lengthening your elbow joints back, and breathe. One more full, complete breath. If that foot is on top, very slowly uncross it. You might unwind the arms to goalposts. And when you're ready, let's inhale the knees back up to center. And hug the knees all the way into the chest. You might rock a little bit from side to side. And let's roll to rest on your right side in a fetal shape, curling up into a tight little ball here. You might use your upper arm as a pillow. Breathe. Pressing the top palm down, bringing yourself a little bit forward and all the way up And let's find our way into a tabletop position, please. Hands and knees position on the mat. If you have sensitive knees or if you have a thinner mat, I actually have two really thick mats stacking here. But if you have a thin mat or sensitive knees, slide support under your knees, right? It couldn't hurt. I've never had anybody in, I think, the 16, 17 years I've been teaching, I've never had anybody say, oh, I wish I didn't use a blanket today. So setting up your foundation that is touching the earth, your wrists right under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, rooting in your shins and the tops of the feet. And let's slide your right leg back, keep the toes curled under, and press or pulse through that heel, opening up the meridian down the back of the leg. Actually, I have a bladder meridian down the back of the leg. And as you reach that heel back, shift the shoulders right over the wrists. Press the floor away. Gaze towards the top edge of your yoga mat so the back of the neck is nice and long. And as you inhale, breathe that right leg parallel to the floor. And nice and slow, we'll cross that right leg behind your left leg. Set the toes down and press through that heel. And taking a peek over that left shoulder towards that heel, and breathe. I like to pivot my left hand to the left. You might even pivot your right hand to the right. Just an option here. It might feel really yummy on your wrists. One more breath. Allow the upper body to slowly unwind first. And then inhale that right leg back. And exhale, set the knee back down. We'll go right to the second side. So slide your left leg back, curl the toes under, and press or pulse through that heel. Getting a nice stretch in the back line here. And then as that heel reaches back, shift the shoulders right over the wrists. Broaden your collarbones. Press the floor away. And gaze towards the top edge of your sticky mat. As you inhale, breathe that left leg parallel to the earth. And very slowly cross it behind your right leg. Set the toes down. Press out through that heel and take a peek over that right shoulder at that heel. Once again, you might pivot right hand to the right. You might pivot your left hand to the left. Breathe. I like to rock a little bit here. One more breath. Allow the upper body to slowly unwind first. And then let's inhale that left leg back. As you exhale, lower the knee down. Bring the big toes together, knees wide. Sit back into child's pose. Hips back, arms forward. And if the forehead doesn't meet the earth, you might stack your hands under your forehead. Let's take 5 breaths here. You might imagine there was a 10-pound weight draping on your tailbone. Allow the forehead to be nice and heavy. You might circle your wrists. And then reach your arms forward, gaze between your thumbs. And let's inhale back to a tabletop position. We're going to set up for pigeon pose, but we'll enter it in a very yin, in a little bit of a gentler way. So sliding that right knee to the right edge of your yoga mat, sliding that right knee to the edge of your yoga mat, the heel a little more inside that knee. Make sure the knee feels comfortable here. Curl your back toes under, please. Curl your back toes under. Pick up that back knee, press out to the heel, and lower the knee down. flatten the foot and see if you can snuggle down in your right buttocks. Now, if you can't, you might try that again without overdoing. Or I like to take my blanket and snuggle it nice and cozy underneath that right buttocks. I find that when we really can anchor down in the hips and pelvis, it will take some of the pressure out of that front knee. But if you do feel pressure here, you might come onto your back for thread the eye of the needle once again, or I will show one other variation here. If this bothers you, you're always welcome to take thread the eye of the needle upright. It's a little more intense, but just an option for you. So from this pigeon shape, you might even take a little peek at that back leg, make sure it's straight back from the hip bone. Come high to your fingertips, finger pads. We'll start with a little bit of a back bend. So beginning to hug your knees together isometrically. Crawl your hands back. Let's take an inhale, lift your heart, look up. Option to stay right here. Or as you exhale, slowly walk yourself forward, maybe to your forearms. Maybe those blocks are nearby and you rest your forearms or even your forehead on a block or two. The head and neck might relax here. Breathe. Nice long exhales. The exhale is the cooling side of the breath, or the yin side of the breath. It turns on your body's parasympathetic nervous system, or your relaxation response. So exploring those nice long exhales here as we continue this little journey up into the hips and pelvis. Let's take 3 more breaths. One more breath. And nice and slow, begin to walk yourself up. So there's a little bit of a different transition here. Shifting the weight a little bit into that right buttocks. Soften your back knee, support the back of the thigh, and we'll bring the leg around. I'll turn to face you. So that left foot might be a little more in front of the foot or the shin. If it feels good, you might bring that left foot all the way outside, coming into what we call Ardha Matsyendrasana, half king of the fishes. And do make sure that left big toe is anchored to the earth. Make sure your sitting bones are even. I often lift myself up, scooch myself a little bit to the right so that my left buttocks can really be heavy to the earth. And sitting up nice and tall here, and give that thigh a nice hug, a good squeeze. And I want to give a couple options here. It might feel really good to find a nice open twist, so there's a little more space in the abdomen. Otherwise, we'll turn into the twist, either catching the shin or giving that thigh a nice hug, and bringing your left fingertips to the earth or support behind you. Sitting up nice and tall here. And as you bake here, really hugging that thigh in towards the midline, wherever you are. And we're going to rock a little bit. Good. Really allowing that left buttocks to be nice and heavy to the earth. As your low body gets heavy, sit up a little bit taller. Maybe the gaze is over your back shoulder, just an option. Let's take an inhale here. And as you exhale, very slowly unwind the gaze to center. And take an inhale, sit a little bit taller. And as you exhale, unwind, give that knee a nice hug, a good squeeze. So, a couple options. Option A, catching that ankle and hopping that foot back so the knees are stacking. Now this might not work in your body. If it bothers your knees in any way, we change it. So I want to give the option to extend your bottom leg forward as well, so the knees are crossing here. So either bottom leg extended or knees stacking. You might slide a blanket between your knees. The heels might be cozy in towards the body. If this is really easy, you might widen the feet out. I like to keep the feet a little bit active here. You might hold on to your knees, sit up nice and tall. You might stay here. Or let's take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, begin to hinge forward. Inner thighs begin to roll back a bit. 5 breaths. If you have support nearby, you might rest your forehead. That's a little bit too low for me today. You might rest your forehead on a block or two, or your hands. Just an option. There's never any destination here. It never matters to me how far you fold. What matters to me is who you are when you get there. One more breath. And then anchoring down in your low body. Let's take an inhale, lengthen your spine. And very slowly walk it back. Bring your hands behind you, lean back, stretch your legs forward. Shake out the knees. We should probably do all of that on the second side. So when you're ready, make your way into that tabletop position. Once again, hands and knees position on the mat. You might have that blanket near the left side of your body, just an option. And this time we'll slide that left knee to the left edge of your yoga mat, the heel a little more inside the knee towards the center of the body. Curl your back toes under. Pick up that back knee, press out to that heel, lower the knee, flatten the foot. And once again, see if you can snuggle down. You might try that again. And you might slide a little support underneath that left buttocks. I always love to take a peek at my back leg, just make sure it hasn't wandered to the right or to the left, right? Let's curl the back toes under. Come high into your fingertips, finger pads, and begin to scissor your knees together isometrically. I'm going to walk my hands back a little bit more. As you inhale, lift your heart, look up. You might stay here or exhale, lower down to your forearms or blocks. You might allow your head and neck to relax. Breathe. Nice long exhales. Our hips, our pelvis, our sacrum is once again that womb of creativity. And your voice, that really our fifth chakra, we refer to it as, is that place where we speak or express that creativity into the world or speak from our heart. So as we release a bit into the hips, pelvis, sacrum, let's make a little sound. Take an inhale through your nose. We'll make an M sound. Let's do that one more time. Nice inhale. Good. One more breath here. Very slowly begin to walk it up. We'll shift the weight a bit into that left buttock, support the back of that right thigh, and bring that leg around. I'll meet you there. So that foot is either in front of the shin or the ankle. If you have a shorter shin bone, this might feel better. Or you'll bring it outside. Make sure this is the second side. Once again, I'm going to lift my hips up, shimmy myself just a tiny little bit to the left to really root that right buttocks down. And catching the shin, you might give that thigh a nice hug, sit up nice and tall. And once again, options to find an open twist or hug that thigh in, sit up tall, and bring your right fingertips to the earth behind you. So the low body nice and anchored, the spine nice and light to the sky. And let's begin to rock a little bit. Keep drawing that thigh nice and cozy in towards the body. Breathe. Good. And then really allow that right buttocks to get heavier. Maybe the spine to grow taller. Maybe the gaze is over that back shoulder for the last 2 breaths. Take an inhale together. And as you exhale, the gaze unwinds to center. And take an inhale here. And as you exhale, upper body unwinds. So once again, you might catch this ankle, hop that foot back. Option B, you might extend your bottom leg, stacking the knees here. We call this Gomukhasana legs or cow face legs. If it feels really easy, you might widen the feet apart. I like to floint or flex the feet. Make sure you can sit up nice and tall. You might sit on a little support. You might stay right here, or let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, reach your heart up and over. Walk your hands forward. You might rest your forehead on a block or 2. And breathe. If your forehead is dropping way below your heart, elevate the block up a little bit. I'm always looking for a nice fluid line of energy from the tailbone to the base of the skull. So energy is flowing nice and smoothly up and down the spine. Just one more breath here, you got this. Allow your low body to anchor. As you inhale, lengthen your spine. And nice and slow, walk it up. Bring your hands behind you, lean back. Stretch the legs forward. Shake out the knees. You might bring the feet a little bit wider and windshield wiper the feet from side to side. Good. And for our final posture today, I'm going to give you 2 choices. Option A, you might come into Baddha Konasana, more of a nice wide diamond shape. You might sit on a blanket. Option B, Upavishta Konasana, the legs extending. If there's any pulling behind your knees, if you have 2 blankets, or actually washcloths work really well, you might roll your blankets, make sure you have 2 of whatever you are using, and snuggle them behind your knees. I only have 1 today. I'm not going to use them. So just an option. Make sure you can sit up nice and tall. You might reach back, pull the flesh away from your sitting bones. Allow the backs of your thighs to root, heels to root. Wherever you are, bring your fingertips to the earth in front of you. Allow the low body to get heavy. Take an inhale, lift your heart, look up. And then exhale, reach your heart up and over, walk your hands forward. Let's take 10 breaths here. The forehead might rest on support if that feels good. If you have have support under your knees and you want to relax the feet, be my guest. If it bothers the low back in any way, reflex. Allow the low body to get nice and heavy. As you inhale, lengthen your spine, gaze forward, pause, and then very slowly walk it all the way up. If your legs are in Upavishta, support the backs, the knees, lift the knees up. Stretch your legs forward, give the knees a little bit of a shake. And let's take just a few breaths lying on your back, resting and integrating our practice. So please take your time. Reclining all the way back. Sometimes we skip Shavasana or just rush right on to the next thing, but don't skip it. Really take this time to receive all that you've offered to your body. This great gift of your practice. The body melting back to the earth. And if you have any leftover tension, tightness, anything at all, and take a nice inhale, draw it up, and open the mouth, let it go. You might do that one more time. As we bake here a few more moments together, I will read once again a quote by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of the universe. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of the universe that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Wherever you are, bring your hands to stack at the seat of your heart. Calling back to mind your heartfelt intention, dedication, or prayer. And have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day.